Assalamualaikum everyone, welcome to my presentation. Today I will discuss about the basic terminologies of tree. My name is Mohammed Hussain and the last three digits of my ID is 827. Today I will try to discuss about the basic introduction of tree and the basic terminologies of tree. When we try to elaborate this topic, the first question is what is tree? And the answer is tree is a nonlinear data structure which organizes data in a hierarchical structure, and this is a recursive definition. In the other words, a tree is a connected graph without any circuit or cycle. If in a graph there is one and only one path between every pair of vertices, then the graph is called as a tree. If we see an example, then the first one cannot call it a tree because we see here is a cycle. So we cannot call it tree. But the next one we call it tree because there is no cycle and the every node are connected with each other by edges. In the next slide, I will try to discuss about the basic terminologies of tree. We see there are many types of terminologies of a tree, such as the root, forest, subtree, depth, height, degree, sibling, child, parent. In the next slide, we will see that the root node. What is root node? The answer is the first node. The first node from where the tree originates is called as a root node. In a tree, we called the A node as a root node because this tree are originate from this node. So we call this node as a root node. And remember that in any tree there must be only one root node, and we can never have multiple root node in a tree data structure. And the next one is the edges. The connecting link between any two nodes is called as an edge. Here we can see that the node of A and C are connected by this line, and this line is known as edge. And remember that the number of edges is always the number of node minus 1. Here we see that the number of node are is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So the edge is 11 minus 1 is 10. Here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. In the next slide we will see the parent node. Here the node which has a branch from it to any other node is called a parent node. Here in a tree, the A is parent node when B and C are child, and B are parent node when E are act as a child. C is a parent node when G is a child, and in a tree, a parent node can have any number of child nodes. In the next slide, there is a child node. The node which is a descendant of some node is called as a child node, and all the nodes except the root node are child node. B and C, these are child nodes because these have a parent node of A, but we cannot call this node as a child node because this node has no parent node, and this is the root node. In the same way, we called this node the D, E, F. These are also a child because these have a parent node of B. And the next one is siblings. Nodes which belong to the same parent are called as a sibling. In other words, the node with the same parent are sibling node. Here in this tree, D, E, F are sibling because they are originate from this node of, and this node is B. In the same way, B and C are also a sibling because these two nodes are originate from this common node. In the next slide, I would like to discuss about the leaf node. The node which does not have any child is called as a leaf node. Leaf nodes are also called as the external node or terminal node. Here we can see that K, H, F, J, I, D, these all nodes are leaf node, but we cannot the A node as a leaf node because this node has the two another node B and C. So in the next slide we will try to discuss about the internal node. The node which has at least one child is called as the internal node. Internal nodes are also called as non-terminal node. Every non-leaf node is an internal node. This means A, B, E, C, G. These all are internal node because these have one or more than node. But we cannot call the D, I, G node as internal node because they have no another node. So in the next, the degree. The degree of a node is the total number of children of that node. The degree of a tree is the highest degree of a node among all the nodes in the tree. Here we can see that if we try to calculate the degree for a B node, then this should be 3 because it contains the 3 nodes and D, E, F node, and the degree for a G is 1 because that contain a 1 node only. And if we try to calculate the degree for a node, then it should be 2 B and C. And the next one is the level. Every tree has a different level, and this level should start from the root node and the level of 0. Then this number is incremented by a 1. Here for a root node the level is 0, and for a next is level 1, the next level 2, and the next is level 3. And the next one is the height. The total number of edges that lies on the longest path from any leaf node to a particular node is called as the height of that tree. Remember that the longest path from any leaf node to a particular node. That means if we try to calculate the height for a B node, then it should calculate from the leaf node to this particular node. And the number of edges here is 2, so the height is 2. And if we try to calculate for a node, then it should be 1, 2 or 3. The depth. The total number of edges from root node to a particular node is called a depth of that node. Is this like the length of a tree, but it is different because it starts from the root node to a particular node. For example, if we try to calculate the depth for a k node, then it should be start from the a node, means root node. Then there is the 1 is 2s or 3s. So the depth for a k node is 3. And remember that root node is always 0. And the next one is the path. Path means in any tree, path is a sequence node and the edge between two nodes. Here we can see that from A to B, B to E, E to J, this maintain a one path. And another C to G, G to K, this maintain a one another part. Here A, C, H maintain one another part. And the next one is the subtree. In a tree, each child from a node forms a subtree recursively. Every child node from a subtree on its parent node. Here we see that B, D, F, this one is a subtree. E, I, J, this one also a subtree because there has a root node and the child node. And another we can see that C, G, H, K, this is the another subtree because this tree plays in the main tree. So the whole tree known as the tree, and this the particular tree is called as a subtree. And the last one is forest. A forest is a set of disjoint tree. If we have more than one tree, then we called this the forest. So thank you everyone for your attention and valuable time.